Hi, this is Bill, and give you an update at what's happening at work. As you know, I've been working on measuring the magnetic field using our satellite data. This is a similar type of measurement being done by a recently launched mission called EASY by NASA. And so I've been just kind of quietly grinding out data here. If you look at my previous videos, I talk about how this measurement's done and the way it all works. But anyway, so I'm just generating a day here and there. This is type of data I get, magnetic field measured on the ground, magnetic field measured from space, and you can see it correlates pretty well. And of course, what they're interested in is getting the perturbations from a standard magnetic model, which is the International Geophysical Reference Field. And so these are the deviations, and you can see we're getting a decent correlation. Anyway, this is kind of cool. Yesterday at our meeting, I guess our boss is talking about the financial state of our institution, which is not the greatest right now. So in order to retain some workers, they have this thing called a retention WAM, or a work authorization memo. And I guess there's quite a few people on the lab that are charging to this, and I don't know where the money comes from, but apparently she said there's still some money left over before the end of the fiscal year, which is basically October 1st is when it ends. So she had not mentioned this to our group because she didn't want it to be a layoff like target on put a layoff target on people. So but now I guess she said that, yeah, she said, why not since it didn't seem obvious that this necessarily did put a layoff target on people, so she was kind of saying, yeah, let's if you think you got something, to go ahead and request it. So yeah, I'm working like 80% time right now and burning a vacation time to keep my pay full. Yeah, this is somewhat strategic because if I get laid off, I supposedly would get a 6-month severance package based on what I'm being paid. So being full time means I basically get 6 months to half a year, so it's like half of my pay, which would be awesome. So anyway, she said, yeah, you can go ahead and I guess you can maybe able to get some money on a retention WAM for until the fiscal year, which is basically the end of September. So no sooner than the word, I wrote my justification, and the good news here is that the idea of the retention WAM is to try to retain people with unique skills that would be hard to replace, so they can tie them over to another project. So, but the good news here is that he said that what you have to do is you have to say what you're going to do with the money, as opposed to having to sell myself as being like so totally awesome that the whole institution is going to collapse if I'm not around. Like that's total BS. I don't believe that for a second. But I do think I could at least spend the money well. So here we go. This is my retention WAM request. So I'm asking to charge 20% of my time to a retention WAM to remotely measure the Earth's magnetic field from the microwave limb sounder, MLS. These measurements will augment those being made by NASA's Electrojet Zeeman Imaging Explorer EASY, a 3 CubeSat constellation launched on March 2025. MLS has over 21 years of observations available. Like EASY, MLS measures the same oxygen emission spectrum that is split by the Earth's magnetic field. Measuring the Earth's magnetic field in the mesosphere is of interest because electric currents flowing within the ionosphere and magnetosphere perturb the magnetic field there and are responsible for the energy transfer between the ionosphere and magnetosphere. MLS can provide a 21-plus year data record of these events and an independent validation of the EASY measurements. The MLS may also observe the 6-year cycle in the Earth's field that is of interest to geophysicists. In addition to the magnetic field measurement, I will produce temperature profiles in the mesosphere and line of sight winds that are a byproduct of the magnetic field retrieval. So The retrieval of the magnetic field from MLS has been successfully prototyped and shown to produce accurate results based on comparisons with ground stations. The work that needs to be done is to streamline the processing so that the current processing rate of 5 days per day of measurement can be significantly reduced. By exporting the code to a multiprocessor machines that are available to the MLS projects. Thank you for your consideration. So basically the task is to make that faster. So we have these 350 node cluster machines, and I was thinking about this. If I basically took what I got there and put it on one of those machines, we could do I think I worked it out something like 72 days in a day, or basically, or like that's 2.5 months, or like maybe a year in a week. So yeah, these machines are pretty powerful. So hey, I figured this should be good value for their money. The easy experiment cost $60 million, and all I'm asking for basically amounts to like 6 or 7 days of my salary. So, and I'm going to measure the magnetic field just like they can. However, they have better instrumentation, and they'll be able to actually do full imaging of the Earth and things like that. It could do the stuff better, but because MLS doesn't do imaging, it just measurements along a track, which is about 3,500 measurements a day. So, anyway, yeah, I think that's good value for their money. So anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It helps me with my low self-esteem. And until next time, bye-bye.